What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Road to Pro. I'm super happy that you're here. I'm really happy that you're watching this right now. I was thinking the other day, I've never really taken the opportunity just to talk to you one-on-one, right? It's always been like a highlight video or a concept that I'm teaching to you, like the spin serve, right? But it's never just been like a straight up conversation. So I want to have that with you today. Not a lot of crazy things going on in this, but I want to give you a channel update. Want to give you an update on some stuff I got coming up for you all, and then recap the PPA Austin tournament, which you're watching right now in the background. But really, like at the core of my channel, it's about this transition from becoming this collegiate athlete, never playing a racket sport, to becoming a pro pickleball player. So I want to take some time to tell you more about that and get to know each other a little bit better. Really, I don't think I've ever been this passionate about something. Like the first time I picked up pickleball, it was just an instant hit for me. I mean, so much dopamine being released from the very first time I hit the court. There's something about just the way the ball sounds and the strategy behind this game. It's so just freaking mesmerizing. I just love it so much. And on top of that, I'm really enjoying making all this content for you. So if you don't know, I'm obviously doing YouTube stuff, but I've got TikTok account, Instagram account. I post on Facebook all the time, and you guys are absolutely blowing up all those platforms. I think last month we had roughly 2 million views across all platforms, which is just mind-blowing to think about. 2 million people, probably not 2 million people, but quite a lot of people watching pickleball content. That's just so crazy. There was one video I posted about the spin serve, the deadliest one-handed spin serve in pickleball or something like that. Over 100,000 people have watched that, which is wow. That's like bigger than any college football stadium. Think about filling up that stadium with somebody watching a video about pickleball. It's so mind-blowing. So I'm just really happy that we're doing this. I'm happy that you're a part of it, and I'm happy that I can provide some entertainment and some education to you along the way. I want to recap PPA Austin, which is what you're watching right now in the background, and then talk to you about some really cool stuff we got coming up. In this video, I'm playing Brian Hirschman and Clay Gibson in 5.0 19 plus men's doubles, and the winner of this game is guaranteed at least a bronze medal, and the loser, they go home. A couple videos ago, I mic'd up one of our matches, and a lot of people were commenting about how we kept incessantly saying, be an athlete, be an athlete. Well, this game is why, because you've probably already seen a lot of mistakes that happened early on, and 95% of those were, well, number one, pulling the trigger too early and just not being patient, but the main thing probably is just not being an athlete. Like, we were being lazy, we weren't bending our legs, we weren't putting our body weight behind the balls, and it just wasn't working out well for us. So moving forward after this game, we're like, all right, dude, keep reminding each other, be a freaking athlete out there. My partner at this tournament, his name is Kyle Kazuda, and the story of how we met is just so wild to me. The connections that I'm making through pickleball and that you're able to make through pickleball it's just mind-blowing. So Kyle also makes pickleball content posted on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and anytime that I see a new content creator come into the space or somebody that I think I might like and we could connect or have a good conversation, I reach out to them and I just DM them on like Instagram or Facebook and just try to start that conversation. I did that with Kyle, and we continue those conversations, and then a few months ago he's like, all right, dude, I got a crazy idea. I'm flying to Atlanta to do some work, but before that I want to fly to Austin and play in a tournament with you and just make a ton of content while we were there. So I was like, all right, no brainer, let's do it, man. We booked our flights to Austin, flew out, played this tournament, and the very first time I met Kyle was in the airport. We got our paddles out, got a ball out, and we asked some poor bystander. She had no idea what was going on. I said, hey, can you film us? And we just started dinking back and forth and made a piece of content right away. And that really set the tone for the entire trip. I mean, it was just purely about playing pickleball, having fun, and making a ton of content while we were there. So we were doing all this. We had an amazing host on this trip. Her name was Shelby. And the really wild thing is that Kyle nor I had ever met Shelby before. She didn't know who we were. She was like a mutual friend of Kyle's. But because she is such an angel, she took us into her home, let us stay there for a couple of days, and traveled us around all of Austin. And if you haven't seen one of my videos on Instagram, we ended up giving her quite a lot of pickleball gear as compensation. So I hope you enjoyed that if you did see it. But one night, we had to stay in a hotel one night, and Kyle and I were talking, and we were like, dude, how can we just connect with the most amount of people possible at this tournament? And we had some ideas back and forth, and then we had the idea that we wanted to film 50 people, interviews with 50 people, and ask them why they love pickleball. It's a very obvious question and pretty easily answered for anybody that's at a pickleball tournament. And so we did that. We mic'd up a paddle. It was actually a carbon paddle, which they sent to me, which I ended up giving away to Shelby. Mic'd up the paddle, walked up to people and like, hey, why do you love pickleball? And just listened and just chatted with them. And through that, we made so many crazy connections. One thing about these pickleball tournaments that's just wild to me is that everywhere you look, there's just a pickleball pro walking around and just being a genuine great human being. They're chatting with the fans, like right after their matches or before their matches. And they're really just like genuinely good people. Whenever you watch them online or you watch like a live stream, I mean, they look like superstars because they're just super good at pickleball, but they're all so approachable, and I just genuinely love that about the game. So we started to go up to people, ask them why they love pickleball. We had some crazy interviews, met some incredible people. You can see all that recapped on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. But one of the interviews, we connected with Lee Whitwell, who she's been on the scene for a little bit, but she had a really great time at Major League Pickleball, became the MVP at Major League Pickleball, and she's just been a phenom ever since. But her and Kyle actually hit it off because they both have a background in improv. So they were doing this interview and Kyle was asking her questions and she was just being so funny, and we just had a great time together. We kept talking to her throughout the day, and then probably like 2 hours later after the interview, she was like, hey, you guys want to come back and like hang out at the pool with one of my friends? We're like, yeah, absolutely, that's a no-brainer. So we hopped in her car, we drove like 40 minutes away from the venue and ended up at the house of Steve Kuhn, who is the owner of Major League Pickleball, or at least the founder. I don't know if he's classified as the owner, but founder of MLP, founder of Duper, the rating system, and by all intents and purposes is just an absolute legend. So I got to pick his brain for a bit, got to chat with him and meet those people. It's so incredible. And that ended up actually going into Saturday or Sunday. We went to Dreamland, which is the home of Major League Pickleball, and we filmed some content there with Lee. I made a lot of really funny videos, one of which was how pros play mixed doubles pickleball, which has had such a great reception. So I hope you liked that if you saw it. I mean, she's just so easy to work with on camera, and what you see on camera is just like genuinely how she is off the court. She's just such a funny human being. But we made some great content there, got toured around, and at Dreamland there is this mini golf course, which I think is probably the best mini golf course in the entire world. Like, if you ever go there, you have to check this thing out. It is so cool. But that pretty much wraps up PPA Austin. We got back to Atlanta. I've been here for a couple days. And tomorrow, by the time you're seeing this, I will be on a plane heading to Hawaii. First time ever going to Hawaii. I'm going with a childhood friend. We went to high school together. And we're also going to make a ton of pickleball content out there. I don't want to give away too much, but there's a really high probability that I may or may not be hopping out of a plane and swimming with some sharks. And there's a good chance there's going to be a pickleball involved in both of those situations. So look forward to that. I'm super stoked about it, and understandably a little bit nervous as well, but it's going to be a blast. And it's just so crazy to think about, like a year ago, if I had been going to Hawaii, it would have been amazing, don't get me wrong, but it would have just been like another vacation. But now I'm going to Hawaii, and I've got like 5 pickleball games lined up with people that I don't know. So we're going to get there, we're going to meet some locals, we're going to bond over pickleball, and it's going to be such an amazing experience. I mean, it's a beautiful island, and I'm just so excited to be there. And as soon as we get there, to meet people because of pickleball, it's just amazing to me. It's mind-blowing, it's mesmerizing, and I'm just so fortunate and blessed to be in this situation. And don't worry, I will be filming like all this stuff, so I'll be able to take you along the ride with me. Look out for that stuff. After Hawaii, there's maybe one trip in there that I can't really talk about right now. But after that, Kyle and I are going to do the same thing that we did in Austin at the North Carolina Open in Charlotte, at the PPA tournament there. So looking forward to that one. And then after that, we're going to the Atlanta Open and doing the same thing there again, pretty much, which is just crazy to think about. We're starting to go to these tournaments, making content, and just having a blast doing it. And then finally, with the travel situation, later this year, I'll be taking a pickleball road trip. I'm planning one right now. Going to be making a lot of stops in Florida, South Georgia, some stops in Alabama. So if you're in any of those areas and have a place that I should play pickleball at, let me know in the comments or just reach out to me via some platform. I'll get back to you. And yeah, let's set up some games. I'm super stoked to do that. I want to visit like 20 or 30 courts in the span of, I don't know, maybe a week. So we got a lot of cool stuff lined up, and I know you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't, it's okay, because I just enjoy making it. And to me, that's what really matters at the end of the day, is I'm having a blast doing it. And I hope that you receive it the same way. We're kind of running out of time here, so I want to just address the game that's on the screen right now. So I don't think I kept in the score being called every time, but we were up like 14-6. We were playing a game to 15 because this is the losers bracket. And we just started losing point after point after point. And what we determined was that early on in the game, we were being super aggressive and speeding up drops that were a little bit too high and just getting in hands battles, and we were winning. But at some point, we just like, all right, let's just dink it and close this out. And it wasn't working for us, and we just never switched from it. But yeah, just stick with your guns. If something's working early on in the game, it's probably going to work later. But anyways, that's the end of the video. Ended up getting silver in 5-0 men's. Super excited. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to do more of this. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.